Welcome back to my channel, and welcome if you are new. You could probably tell by the title and the intro, we are pregnant. It was a complete shock to the hubby and I. We've been dealing with infertility over the past 2 years. Last year I was diagnosed with PCOS. So that was definitely a shock. I was actually due in just when COVID hit to start my first round of IUI versus just the medicated cycle. So that kind of got put on hold. And by the time the clinic reopened in May, we were in the process of moving. So we were kind of like, let's wait until we move. We moved in June, and then we figured, let's just try one more cycle before going back to the RE and starting that IUI cycle. And so a little bit about what was going on between March and now. So after my last medicated cycle, I wasn't sure if I was going to actually get my own period. And when I did, and it continued to happen month to month, I was like, well, let me start tracking. So in May, we started to track using ovulation strips that you can get online. They are great. I order them from Amazon. They're just the Pregmate ones. Super great. I was getting a peak on them, but one thing I noticed and what I did differently this month is I decided in July, like early July, when I was in the midst of my cycle, to get OvuSense, because I'm like, oh, I'm using these test strips, I'm seeing a peak. Why isn't this happening for us? And I started to use OvuSense and noticed that when I got my peak and when OvuSense was actually telling me my temperature rose and that ovulation had been confirmed, were 2 different days. So I think because of the PCOS and because of the issues with the hormone imbalances that I do have, it was causing the LH strips to recognize the surge much earlier than I was actually ovulating. And so we did use OvuSense throughout this whole month. And I'll probably put a clip in and show you guys what my chart looked like, as well as my test progressions. We did somehow catch it first month trying to use OvuSense, and I actually found out that we were pregnant at about 3 weeks of pregnancy. So that was from the start date of my last cycle, which was July 4th, all the way until that first moment that we started to see a line on the tests. Now, what some of you might be wondering is how I noticed that I was pregnant that early. And so one of the big giveaways for me was soreness and tenderness in my breasts. So yes, this is TMI for some people, so skip ahead if this isn't what you want to be listening to. But it was a heaviness, a soreness. Usually it does come around ovulation and then it goes away and then it comes back around my cycle. But this actually stayed. So for about a week and a half from right before ovulation all the way through until I took that first test, there was just a soreness and a heaviness that was almost difficult to explain. So anytime I put on a sports bra or a regular bra, I couldn't lay down on my belly because it just hurt so much. So when we were getting closer to like 8 or 9 DPO, I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna take a test and see what happens. So we got a really faint first response, and I instantly ran out because I was supposed to be waiting on an order from Amazon of more Pregmate strips and more actual pregnancy tests. And although Amazon said it was delivered, I never got the package. I'm like in the middle of the day not telling my husband, and I'm like, I gotta run to Publix. I run out to Publix, I grabbed a couple of Clear Blues and a couple of First Response. And then I held my pee for like 2.5 hours and then took a test, and you could tell on the Clear Blue that it was a clear pregnant. So I was super excited, and I was trying not to tell my husband, and here I am a month after moving, trying to dig through all of my boxes to find. I had a t-shirt and a onesie made years ago when we started trying, and I found those, and I wanted to make sure that I gave it to him. So when he got off work, we both work from home, so it was literally just waiting for him to get off a phone call. I gave him that box. I had him open it, and he was like, "Is there something you're trying to tell me?" I might put some pictures and the voiceover of it, because it was really bad angle of recording him, and I was trying not to let him know what was going on. But he was super excited, and he couldn't believe that I had been holding on to that shirt and that onesie for so long.
Not pregnant?
Not what that says.
Really? It worked?
Yeah. To some more of my symptoms. I started to, so I wake up every morning about 6:45, 7 o'clock, and we've got 4 dogs, so I take care of them in the morning, and usually I don't make breakfast until about 8:30, 9 o'clock. But I did start to notice about week 3 that when I would wake up in the morning and I would feed the dogs, and all of a sudden I was starving, like starving, hunger pains to the point where I was almost nauseous, which usually isn't the case for me. I'm one of those people, I can get up, I can go about my day, and a couple hours later I'll be like, I should probably eat something. Occasionally, even when I was working and actually driving to work, I would make it all the way until lunch before actually eating something. So that was definitely another like very early indicator for me. I haven't really gotten super nauseous. I haven't really thrown up yet. I am only, I think, 4 weeks and 2 days today. So I am still very early. Just as I was starting this video, I did get a call about my 3rd blood draw. Mind you, again, I did have that first one when I was 3 weeks. So it was still pretty early. So my draw 3 today was 272, and my blood draw, my second one, was 135. So we are doubling as we're supposed to, which is a good sign. And then I'm just gonna go in tomorrow to get a 4th blood draw, just because I was super early when I went in for that first one, just to make sure that we are continuing to double. So that is the great news. Please keep following along with me on this journey. I will be trying to post at least weekly or bi-weekly to give you guys an update on some of my symptoms that I'm having, and just keep you going on bump pictures and stuff like that. So I hope you enjoy this video. Please like and follow.